Welcome to Consumer Update. I'm Kellie Lightbourn. Well, it's the start of a new year, and that means New Year's resolutions. So whether it's to lose weight, make more money, give up a specific vice, it's also a good time to reevaluate your insurance needs. And joining me this morning is Chris Wandembergh from First Heritage Insurance Services. So glad to have you on the show because, like I said, people, we always say we want to lose weight. Sometimes we miss the really important things.
Right.
So give us a little insight of maybe what we should be looking at for the new year.
Well, I think obviously, like you said, New Year's resolutions are a great thing to start. And right now, the task is not as daunting. Like if you were to wait, you've got all your Christmas presents that you've got, your holiday gifts. And so a lot of people got jewelry over the holidays. And now's a really good time to review your insurance policy because most policies have a limit for theft of jewelry per claim at $1,000. And most people don't realize this.
And you always hear the stories afterwards where somebody goes, I had no idea.
Right.
So this is a good time to really look at what you've got, reevaluate your insurance plan, and obviously upgrade where you need to.
Right. So you would want to check with your insurance carrier to make sure that you could add a scheduled items policy floater to your policy. And what that is it basically will cover jewelry, fine arts, the things that are limited on your policy. So it's always a great time to contact your agent, make sure you have that coverage. If your carrier doesn't provide that endorsement on your policy, they have personal article floater policies, which is a separate policy that you can get. Same thing, it's just not under your homeowner policy, a separate one altogether.
Okay, I need a pin right now because I know I don't have that because that was the first time I've heard those terms.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's just say, for example, Tower Hill Insurance. They have under their homeowners policy a scheduled endorsement for personal property to cover your jewelry. Carriers such as Citizens and some other homeowner carriers don't offer that endorsement. So you'd want to check with your insurance agent to make sure that if you don't have it under your policy and it's not offered, that you get the personal articles floater. And it's just a separate policy that will give you that same kind of coverage, but it's in addition to your homeowner policy.
Well, we know what I'm going to be doing right when I get home. because I don't think about those kind of things. And like I said, these terminology is new to me.
Right.
And so that's scary. So I'm so glad you came on a personal note.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell everybody, you got to do this. You got to at least go home and check.
Right, yeah, because it's not just jewelry. I mean, a lot of people have firearms. All of those things also follow under that category. Silverware, fine arts. So yeah, so all of those things are limited for theft under your homeowner policy. So you want to definitely check with your agent.
Wow.
Right.
That's all I can say is wow. Because usually when you think of insurance, you're like, okay, well, I need, fire insurance. You won't really think of burglary, but really with the economy the way it is, I'm assuming the numbers are going up.
Oh yes, definitely. And the other thing too is now that you've got all of these new items, it's a good idea annually to review your insurance policy and then to make an inventory of your personal property. And with everybody having smartphones, there's so many applications out there that the task is not so daunting. And I always tell people, do it at the beginning of the year. Don't wait until hurricane season when you're busy boarding up your home and trying to figure out what you need to take photos of and document. So this way it's calm, you're doing it, at the beginning of the year and you have that taken care of.
So the smartphone apps like make it easier.
Yeah, correct.
That was I've got 2 for 2 today.
And it stores all of the information off site, so you don't have to worry if, God forbid, you have a fire in your home and the documentation that you have for your personal property is now damaged. So this is stored off site, so you're good.
Yeah, and I also want to make a note because I know when you mentioned hurricanes, first thing I thought is flood insurance.
Yes.
So I don't know if we can talk a little bit about that because a lot of people don't have it or they don't realize they need it.
Yes.
Till after it's too late.
Well, and most people's misconceptions are that you don't live in a flood zone because your mortgage company doesn't require that you carry it. Well, we all live in the state of Florida, and everybody in the state of Florida is in a flood zone. And whether you're in a high to moderate or a low to moderate versus a moderate to high risk depends on whether your lender makes you carry it. But if you live in a low to a moderate floodplain, you can get a preferred rate policy for as low as, I think it's $129 a year.
Wow.
And that will cover at least some building coverage and some contents coverage because your homeowner policy does not cover flood. And most people think that that's part of what your policy covers, but flood, which is rising water, not covered under your home.
Yeah, I feel really uninformed talking to you. Tell us a little bit about Tower Hill Insurance because, like I said, a lot of these things are new to me, which I'm going, ooh, I need to reevaluate, what I'm doing and who's giving me the knowledge because I'm clearly not getting it.
Okay. Well, Tower Hill Insurance Group is a Florida-based insurance carrier. They've been around since 1972, so they've got 40 years experience with specific issues relating to Florida homeowners. So they're not a nationwide carrier. They focus primarily on Florida homeowners, so they're very well informed with the specificities of our,
the things we need.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, and you hear all these insurance companies are running out, and the
Right.
fact that you guys have been here so long,
Exactly.
that
Yep.
speaks volumes
Well,
as far as the comfort level.
Well, exactly. As far as financial standing, I think at the end of 2010, they were ranked 4th in the state as far as market share. But if you take Citizens out, they were 3rd.
Wow.
So when you're looking at homeowner carriers, a lot of people, identify with the larger carriers that have a lot more money to do the advertising.
Right.
But these carriers are specific to the state. And like I said, Tower Hill has exemplary claim service. They've been through the 04 and 05 hurricane seasons. Financially, they did phenomenally. They carry reinsurance, so they are protected in the event that there's a catastrophe. Reinsurance is the insurance that the carriers have to carry. So very strong, another new term, very strong, solid company to work with.
No, that's good to know. Well, let's go back because it's a new year. You may have, kids going off to college, and I know a lot of people forget that they may have to reevaluate as well. So tell us a little bit about some of those kind of things.
Okay, so when you have a child that goes off to school, you want to check with both your auto and your homeowner policy because there's limitations for each. For example, for personal property, your child is away at school, they're at Florida State, what have you, and they've got their personal property up there. We want to make sure that your children's personal property is covered while they're away. So again, good time to review all of that information with your insurance agent.
What are some of the other insurances? Because I know we talked about homeowners, we've now talked about covering your kids.
Right.
What else do people need to look at?
Well, you want to check. Let's just say, for example, this year you've got a parent moving in with you, or your teenage child is now old enough to drive. So you need to check with your agent about the different auto coverages that you're going to need to change. If your child is a good student, obviously you'll be able to get some discounts there. Yes, so it'll help offset some of the high increases for the younger drivers.
So now how do they get a hold of you directly? Because you are extremely knowledgeable in the area, and that really helps as far as the comfort level, making sure you're protected, because you don't want to find out afterwards that your insurance agent didn't protect you.
Right.
So how do we get a hold of you?
Well, you can contact me at First Heritage Insurance, and my number is 813-920-0500.
Well, Chris, a lot of great information for the new year. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll have more right after this short break. And that's all we have time for today. I'm Kellie Lightbourn. Consumer Update has been brought to you by Tower Hill Insurance, Famous Tate, and Florida Cancer Specialists.